As I said in my video about the 6 beginner tips I gave, aiming in Rainbow Six is so rewarding when you take that split second of a time to precisely aim at the enemy's head. Headshots in this game, in my opinion, is the most important target you want to aim for. There are 3 main points you should take into consideration when it comes to aiming. For example, sensitivity, terrace hunts, pre-aiming. Let's start with sensitivity. You're not going to get to that level unless you have the right sensitivity that suits you. Here are some things you want to know about having the right sense. 1. A good mouse. Having a good mouse is one of the reasons why my aiming in PC games got much better. If you just find a cheap mouse, you will not have that accurate movement and aim with your mouse. Here's an example of a very good mouse at a reasonable price. The Razer Death Adder Elite is the mouse I ran for a while. At around $60 Canadian, by the way. It's a pretty decently priced mouse that is amazing for gaming. However, there are obviously other good alternatives you can look at, but it really depends on your price range. Currently, I'm running the Logitech Pro Wireless mouse. If you have the money to spend, I highly recommend it. It is my favorite mouse of all time, and I'm quite a fan of wireless mouses preferably. It's also not a bad idea having a mouse with buttons on it. However, this is your personal preference. I only like having 2 buttons on my mouse. I don't need any more than that. When you have too many buttons on your mouse, it can be quite big on your hand, and it depends on how big your hand is and if you would like to have multiple buttons on your mouse, but this is entirely up to you if you would like that. 2. Big mouse pad. Having a big, clean mouse pad is very good to have. The bigger the mouse pad, the more freedom of movement you have. There are 2 different mouse pads you can get that are pretty good for gaming. The long one and the Gigantus. I personally prefer the Gigantus mouse pad because of the position of my keyboard. It's slanted and it won't really work with the long one. There are definitely a lot of different mouse pads that you can look at, but it definitely depends on what you're looking for and what you want. 3. Multipliers. This one was very interesting for me when I researched this. I used to use the other multiplier when I wanted to copy Kickstart sensitivity settings without even knowing what it meant. So after all the reading I did, I shall now give you a brief explanation on what it's all about. I'll also leave the Reddit thread in the description so you can read more about it. The 2 most common multipliers in Rainbow Six is 0.02, which is default, and 0.00223. I call it the Kickstart multiplier. Keep in mind that changing your multiplier will not affect your aim down sight sensitivity. Changing a multiplier from default to a lower one basically means that each tick on the hipfire sense scales result in less change of actual sensitivity, giving you more control over your current sensitivity if you run default. For example, if I were to change my multiplier to a smaller one, my current sensitivity, which is 12 vertical and horizontal, would be changed to a higher sense. The way to do that is very simple. You basically take 12, multiply that by 0.02 divided by 0.00223, which will equal to 108. Obviously, I can't do that. This is why I stick to the default multiplier. But you can 100% play around with it and see if a lower multiplier is what you need. 4. Troubleshooting the right ADS, horizontal and vertical sense. Trust me when I say this. You usually never find the absolute perfect sensitivity. You have the option, however, of making your horizontal and vertical sensitivity different from each other. Also, you can make a separate one for your aim down sight sensitivity. I sometimes find myself changing my own sensitivity a bit just because I feel like I can always make it better. There is one thing that you want to keep in mind about sensitivity. It is by personal opinion. If the sense you have feels good for you, then keep it. Don't let anyone else tell you if your sensitivity is too high or too low. Trust me, when I see my other friends' sensitivities, I'm usually questioning it. But I know 100% that if it works for them, then they should use it. 5. General aiming. This is basically the part where you go off on your own and start trying out sensitivities. Now, if you like, you can try out other people's sensitivity just to see if it works for you. Also find the DPI that you want to use. Keep in mind, however, that DPI affects all the games that you play on PC. If you like, you can even try my settings out. This is definitely the hardest part about aiming. Finding the right settings for yourself will not be easy. It will also take time, so with the last 4 points in mind, try to find the right settings for you. Pre-aiming is what you usually do when you're about to pick a corner where you might encounter an enemy. It's a very good habit to get into, in my opinion, because you will already be aimed down sight. It's ready to win a gunfight. The thing is, sometimes you won't always win a gunfight after you pre-aim, and that happens, but you were more likely to win that gunfight because you were aimed on sight. So T-Hunt, as I said before, is a great way to start. There are many ways you can pre-aim, but the way I personally play is I usually navigate maps aimed down sight. I can switch to different angles while ADS, but that takes a lot of practice and you'll need a higher aim down sight sensitivity to do that. But with a lot of time, if you like to do that, the more practice you put into it, the better you'll get at it. Last point I will talk about, Terrace Hunt. Terrace Hunt is pretty much the warm-up area for Rainbow Six. A lot of people who want to warm up before playing games or who just want to keep improving their aim do a lot of Terrace Hunts. I would recommend just playing normal Terrace Hunt instead of realistic or hard because all you're just doing is just practicing aiming at targets. It should be quick and painless to do. It is also a great way to practice aiming at head level. As I explained in my last video, the very top buckle on a barricade on a door frame is basically the head level guide for you. That buckle is pretty much the head height you want to be pre-aiming at if you would like to hit someone in the head when someone is standing. I can't really say for crouch, but you can kind of figure that out like I did. But continuous terrace hunts definitely help improve my aim over the years, and that's why I put it here. That is basically what I wanted to say about aiming. I do hope this guide can help you on your mission to improve your aiming. I took the aiming tip from my 6 beginner tips and went into more detail. I did do my part in a bit of research, so I hope all the information I gave is good and informative. Like I said, there will be some links in the description more on aiming on how to change your multiplier. I also did put some time into this video, so I do hope you enjoyed it. I'll be streaming more during weekends and also on some weekdays if I have the time to do it. So come on by and say hi if you like. I'm getting quite close to affiliate, so that'll be something to look forward to. Thank you so much again, and I'll see you in the next video.
Yo, whoever's Jackal? Okay.
Wait, hold on.
Did not secure the biohazard.
I was like, wait, I want to be a part of the party. Wait, we lost?
Yeah, because he TK'd everyone.
Why did we
and,
lose?
Because we were supposed to secure the point.
Yeah.
We
And
did.
all of you,
No, we didn't.
you're supposed to secure the point, but all of you died.
Oh.
I don't think Leonard thought this through.
There was no thought.
Bro, I can't. I literally cannot.
Oh my
I
god.
was like, I'm gonna go hang out with my friends.
I thought we were having a party. I was gonna cut him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was
on my
gonna
way,
use all of my reinforcements. I'm finna find something to put it on, or my
All your
Breaching charges or
My-
something.
the things that break the softwood.
I knew you were
Breaching
under the
charges.
fuck.
Feels good.